It's another Monday, I say, and I'm so glad to be here with you. What is going on? Thank you for tuning in, guys, to my biweekly video newsletter, all the things that brighten Kerri's day and hopefully imparts, wisdom or insight or even just your ability to laugh or ponder a different perspective, which is really what I want this newsletter to be for people, is just giving information in a different way that might get your wheels turning in that brain of yours and consider something new for yourself or choose to be kinder to yourself. So today I read a quote. I was motivated to do it differently because I was in part different. And I was like, oh, preach. I don't even remember who said it. But the reality is my whole life I've been different. When I look back on my elementary years, I didn't have friends. I had a very few select friends, and it was because I was quirky. I cut my hair weird. I don't know. I sang. I just did things differently. And at the time, the narrative around that was that I believed, I made up in my head that I was bad because I was different. And yet there was some part of me that always knew to stay true to my uniqueness. Even though it hurt like hell, and I'm going to keep it real, guys, it can still hurt like hell. People reject me because I make them uncomfortable. I do things differently. I'm unapologetic. I swear. I openly talk about sex and I wear skulls. I have holes. And so that can make people feel uncomfortable, and that's okay. I don't judge people for feeling uncomfortable. But sometimes it hurts, being rejected for potential positions on boards or whatever in the past has really wounded me. And yet I always knew to stay true to myself. Even if temporarily in that moment it stung a little bit, I still continued to lean into my differences, what felt really, really, really good for me, rather than to conform or show up in a way that I felt would be more accepting to the world. And that's truly where my self-confidence and my resilience has come into play. Because as I continued to step into my uniqueness and embracing it, not judging myself as bad for being unique, but really opening myself up to being who I am, doing what feels right for me, I allowed myself to recognize that it was that part of me that was meant to shine in the world. It wasn't the conformist. It wasn't the person who showed up the way I thought my ex-partners wanted me to show up, or it wasn't because I parented the way everybody else parented, because I do not parent the way most people parent. It was me listening to me and doing what felt right and feels right, continues to feel right for me. And so here's the crux that I've learned about this, guys. We were created to be different. We are meant to be different. We were never meant to conform. And when we lean into our differences, when we lean into showing up and doing cosplay like my boyfriend Nana does, or when we lean into singing and dancing in our studio while waiting for clients to take pictures like my best friend Lindsay Height does, or whether we paint something that feels really good for us but makes no sense for anybody else. We trust ourselves. And that is something that most people don't do. When we're too busy conforming, guys, how can we trust ourselves? How can we listen to our intuition? Because we don't even know who we are. We've lost sight of our own ability to discern, to know, to lean into that intuition that keeps us moving forward. And so my call to action for you guys today is, what makes you different? What is your superpower? Can you sing to customers while selling a car? I'm going to tell you right now, if you're a client of mine, most likely you get in a made-up song in your inbox at one point in time. Can you dance while being of service to somebody working in the retail space? Could you give yourself permission to speak your truth? Hey, this really doesn't feel good for me. I'm going to do it this way. The reality is it stinks, especially in the beginning, because the people who know you as conformists, you start to change a game up on them. The people who I found were most uncomfortable with me really embracing my individuality and doing things my way were the people closest to me, because I changed the rules, essentially. I changed how I showed up in the world, which felt unsafe to them. Not because I meant to make them feel unsafe, but because who they knew me to be wasn't really true to myself. And as I stepped into what felt really good for me, they didn't know how to respond. They didn't know what to do with this new Kerri. And so I encourage you, show up in the small moments more for yourself. And know that if you run into discomfort, if you run into people responding with negativity, which is really just fear. It's really fear of the unknown, guys. It's not that they're bad. It's just that it's different. And most people are stuck in this idea that things need to stay the same. Don't stop being different because of the response. Take that reaction as, oh crap, I'm doing it my way. I'm doing what feels right for me. And it's okay. And I'm going to lean more into that instead of just showing up and doing it the way I've always done it, because that's what people have known. I show up unapologetically me in every situation I experience. I don't wear bras. I always have skulls on. My business logo is a skull. Well, I'm part of skull because I just changed it. Whoop, whoop. I don't change. I just show up as me. And in doing that, the people who I'm meant to serve can find me because they know what they're getting in all areas. I don't have to compartmentalize. And I trust myself. And that's the thing that I want most for each person. We're so busy looking for external validation, external resources, reading books, getting confirmation that who we are is good enough. If you seek external validation in any form, then you are a slave to externals. And I work with people to break free of being a slave to the external and truly trust themselves, because it is you who has the power. It is you who knows your purpose. It is you who knows your passion, and the world needs it, guys. I need it. I need you to be unapologetically you, because in being unapologetically you, you give other people permission to be unapologetically them. I hope this served your heart. I hope that if it did, you share it with somebody who may need this message. And if you don't, that's cool. If it didn't feel aligned with you, that's cool. The beauty of being different is it's okay if we disagree. And I can still love you as you are. And I can love me as I am. Until next time, guys, keep being real, keep being brave, keep laughing often, and keep showing up for yourself.